Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, leave it in the ring.
This is WBA Super Middleweight Champion Andre Ward, and you're with Leave It in the Ring Radio.
Hola, soy Sergio Maravilla Martínez, esto es liveinthering.com.
Hola, soy Saúl El Canelo Álvarez y estás en Live the Ring Radio.
Bradley, and you're liveinthering.com.
Este que es Soto Caras, el renuente. Escúcheme por Live in the Ring Radio.
Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Victor Ortiz at liveinthering.com. So take care, guys.
How you doing? You're with Abner Mares, and you're right here with Live It in the Ring Radio.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to Leave It in the Ring again. Myself, Dave Duenas, with my co-host, Milcar, who was just letting me know he was on he had to go to another podcast. That's why we had the end of the show, which was actually pretty good because I think we were all talked out of what was going to happen on the weekends. If you missed the show, our regular program, don't worry about it. It should be back up, and it should be on the archives of our podcast rotation on Pandora and iTunes and whatnot, everything. I'm sorry, I got to keep an eye on the phone just in case, because we do have Frank Espinoza, I believe it's junior or senior, that's going to be coming on, leaving the ring with us, and hopefully talk to us.
I don't make it home tonight. Remember that one, Dave? You better sing me, bro. Huh?
Which one? What song?
Just in case.
Just in case. That? Oh yeah, that was KC, right? Well, I mean, he was a remake that KC did, but from Joe to C. He's taking things way back, way back.
I don't make it home tonight.
Okay, I believe we got. Let's see.
I believe we got me freezing on the screen.
I know you did. You're always freezing on the screen. Hold on. Should be getting Frank here on with us. Frank, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Good. It looks like there's like a little bit of a delay here, but that's all right. We'll work through this, bro.
Rob, you want me to try to see what? Want me to call right back?
No. I think it's on my end for some reason. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I think it is on my end. We'll get it all sorted out, though. No worries, man. Hey, first off, welcome back to the show, man. I appreciate you coming through in such a short notice.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
So let's just go right into it. I mean, well, let me ask you: has the party ended? Has the party ended yet after this big victorious win? Let me see, Frank. Are you there? Hello. I don't know what happened. Let me see. So I think Frank's going to have to call back in because we lost him. Can you hear me, Milcar?
Yeah, I can hear you, Dave. I'm right here.
Yeah, I think we lost him. He should, there he is. All right. Should get him on now. Let's see. There you are. We lost you there for a moment.
No worries. How's that? Is this better?
That's a lot better, yeah. So I was asking you, has the party stopped yet since this big win on Saturday night, or are you guys still flying high?
To be honest with you, it hasn't even started yet.
Really?
we're gonna be doing some things soon with Oscar and the team. So we're really excited. Obviously, it was a big win. But yeah, we're just barely getting started.
Man, I want you to walk us through this whole process. I mean, going to Eddie Reynoso obviously was a great idea, and it benefited, and it showed the reason why it benefited especially in this fight. And this is not the first time you guys have been in some really big fights, but like war fights. Israel Velazquez versus Rafael Marquez brings to mind immediately. But let me ask you: is there ever a comfortable moment when you guys have so much riding on a fight? Does it ever like a comfortable moment for you guys, or are you guys at a like the butterflies? Are they just crazy going on in your guys' system?
It's a good question. Be honest with you, if you didn't have butterflies, you shouldn't be in the boxing business. I mean, this is kind of like this is moments that we dream of as managers to be a part of something like this. So, I mean, 100%, you're excited, you're nervous, you're feeling all those type of emotions. But I would be lying to you if I told you I didn't get butterflies or anything like that. But like I said, I mean, sometimes you got to put it out, put your balls on the table right there, and let them, and let's see who's gonna win. And to be honest with you, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But I mean, I got to tell you, once you win, it's like the best feeling in the world. Something that honestly I can't even explain. I can't put into words, but it's a wonderful feeling.
Right when Barchett gets knocked down in that first knockdown, which was a beautiful shot from Oscar. Obviously you guys are going to burst out because it was just like a whoa, like holy shit moment for everybody, right?
Right.
Explain to me that exact moment for you guys, sitting there ringside, watching it firsthand. What was your guys' sense? Was it like the sense it's over, or no, it's too early to celebrate?
No, 100%. With a world champion like Miguel Pachal, with the heavy-handed puncher that he is, one punch could change the whole fight, the dynamic of the fight. So you could never feel comfortable, or even if we knew that we're doing good, but nothing to the extent that, we felt like we're comfortable. We kept reminding Oscar, you got to, keep staying in your zone, keep sticking to the game plan. But 100%, we did not feel, that, we had this in the bag at any moment. But it was, like I said, Miguel Pachal is one of those world champions that, honestly, if he hits you clean, it could change. It's a game changer.
Absolutely. Let me introduce you to my co-host, Amilcar. Amilcar, what's your question?
Yeah. First of all, congrats on a great win. I did not think that Valdez's power was going to carry up to 130 the way it did, and boy, was I wrong. Luckily, I wasn't one of the only people that was wrong, but I got to give you guys all due and congratulations. That was a tremendous win, and one of the best knockouts I've seen in a while, and definitely the best knockout so far this year. So here's my question, though. What's next for you guys? Who do you think would be a good next opponent for Oscar after such a big win?
I got to be honest. Like I mentioned earlier, the party's just barely starting, so
right.
We haven't quite had time to really think about that as of yet. Obviously, the 130-pound division is a stacked division. There's, a bunch of great fights that people that want to see. So these, I know that for sure Oscar Valdez wants to unify. That's something that he wasn't able to have an opportunity at 126 pounds. He wanted to really unify, and once we weren't able to secure that, we decided to move up. So I think Oscar would love to unify, and that's something that I can only imagine him, telling us that what he wants to do, in the near future.
You guys are such a tight stable. I mean, you guys have been around for years here, Frank. And my question is like, how do you stay in a unforgiving business? Forget the sport. The sport we know is unforgiving. It's a tough sport to be in. You literally have to have a little bit of looseness in the head to be part of boxing. But you would have to be really crazy to be in the business part of boxing. Like, what keeps you guys grounded and stay in this business for so long?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, we're boxing fans, just like you, just like the fans at home that are watching it. I think it's, and be honest with you, the fighters that are fighters, I can speak of, we grown attached to them. We treat them like family. They treat us like family, and honestly, you root for these kids that you see them grow, you see them progress, and obviously you want to see them succeed. But I think to be a part of this is boxing is truly a tough business. Like you said, you got to be a little bit crazy, but at the end of the day, we love it. We love it. We have a lot of passion for this sport, and we want to be one of the best managers, or if not, just to be respected. So you're only as good as your own fighters. So we want to make sure that we produce a good environment for our fighters where they can succeed at the highest level.
Now I got a bunch of questions I want to ask you, but I want to walk back to the fight. Okay, so after that knockdown, it almost seemed, and I had tweeted this out, and I know you follow me, I follow you. I tweeted this out, that it almost felt like Oscar, he got the knockdown, but then he kind of strayed away from the game plan. Like he didn't bring back that jab. He wasn't having the same movement. He was like walking himself backward. What were some of the things that was going through your guys' head? Because it looked like Barchet was getting back into the fight. Did you overhear anything that Eddie Reynoso said to him to get him back into the fight plan?
Right. You know what? Yeah, we did sense that, and obviously you get, like I said, we were never comfortable in the fight, and once we saw that Barchet was coming on, this is where it pays off to have such an experienced trainer. Eddie Reynoso. He, sat down with Oscar, kind of readjusted him, his mindset, and he said, hey, reminded him, you're in great condition. You know what? Do you want to be a world champion? Yes. And then from there, he's like, okay. He gives him directions as far as like, this is what you want you to do. I need you to start, using your angles. You go back to your jab, use your footwork, all the things that we've been working on, getting, try to get him back on track of that. And I think it worked because I think in the 7th round, or after the 7th round, the 8th round, right, Oscar came right back out. And it was because Eddie Reynoso just kind of got in his head and kind of readjusted. Like, hey, let's get back.
Snap out of it, yeah.
Snap out of it. Let's go. We're, exactly. So I think you got to commend Eddie Reynoso for that.
You really do. I mean, the work that he did with them, especially with that game plan, which I had said on last week's show, was that he had to have particular things in his arsenal to make sure that he keeps Barchet's pressure off of him. And it was like they read exactly what I was witnessing or watching, that the game plan I would have written up. And it obviously did more with their game plan. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful performance. That was the vibe I got off of everybody on social media watching it live, was this performance was like top notch.
Right. No, exactly. And I understand, why people were like hesitant to favor Oscar in this fight, because of the previous fights. But I think it all makes sense now. Now that you can see that this is kind of like the genius part of Eddie Reynoso. As we were trying to not change Oscar Valdez's style. He's naturally an aggressive fighter. So when it's time to turn on the switch for him to be an aggressive fighter, we're not worried that he's forgotten how to fight like that. If anything, Eddie's wanted to be strict, and for him to, where things start to become a habit, as far as, his defense, be aware of your counter, be in good position to counter, his footwork, as far as like clinching at times when he needs to clinch. All this stuff kind of came together. So it was great to see, because at the end of the day, we always knew we were going to fight Barchet. We knew that was in our sights, and I think Eddie Reynoso used those past fights as opportunities to say, hey, let's practice what we're using and that we're going to eventually use against Barchet. So, you can see Oscar was trying to get comfortable with it, and at times he wasn't comfortable with it, but it meshed. At the end of the day, it meshed well at the very right time, at the bigger stakes. So when he fought Barchet, he was more than ready.
Absolutely. Amilcar, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. And I actually have a question for people that might not know you and your background. Boxing managing is one of the things that people know the least about as it comes to boxing and getting into the sport. Could you just discuss your background briefly and how you became a boxing manager for those that don't know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, my father, Frank Espinoza Jr., that's how I got in. I was basically born in for boxing. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be a part of this. But my father's been in business since 1988, 1989. And to be honest with you, he started off as a bucket person. One of his good friends, Albert Avila, was a former bantamweight world champion. And he just loved the sport and he loved being around it. And honestly, slowly but surely, he got involved with it. and he tells me he did all the wrong things you could do. He signed fighters that were past their primes, older fighters. I mean, did everything completely wrong. He made a ton of mistakes, lost a lot of money, going that route. But it was such at the end of the day, like I said, we were always fans, and our family was, we grew up on it. As far as watching, Chavez fights, Oscar De La Hoya fights, we were just big fans. But I was myself. I was basically born into the business. I've been around since I was probably like 12 years old, going to the Great Western Forum to fights, working corners. I don't think that was legal at that time, but I was, I was doing it, and I think it was a great experience, and I learned a lot through my father, who's basically seen it all. But it's a tough business, and if anybody that's recommending or interested in being a manager, I would honestly say don't quit your day job. You got to look at it as a hobby, because if I or my father were to be 100% into this boxing, we would have lost our ass a long time ago. I mean, that's the truth, yeah.
Right.
But you gotta treat it as a hobby.
And could you just describe kind of the mechanics of being a manager? So like the day-to-day, like the kind of things you have to do in your relationships with a fighter?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we intentionally we don't like to have a large stable.
Right.
I think that's for us. I think that works to our benefits because it gives our fighters the attention that they need. We do what a lot of managers don't do. We actually go to the gyms like on a weekly basis. We go visit. So I mean, it does take time, from us to get away from our day-to-day things, but we go there. If they need equipment, we're there. As far as helping them get negotiate purses, as far as with promoters, you have to have a good relationship with. You got to know how to network with a lot of people, because there's a lot of people in this business that from all promoters, managers, everything. I mean, boxing's truly a small circle, and for you to be involved with it, you can't burn your bridges. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you can be high up here, but the next day you can be down here and you're going to meet that same person, so you got to treat everybody with respect. But as far as like I said, we go to the gyms, we're involved with our fighters. We like to go to their, see their workouts. We help them out, when anything they need, but we're always there for them. Anything that they need, honestly, we're there for them. And I think our fighters can speak, well of us on that.
It's funny because I was going to ask you, what is the limit of fighters that you guys sign on? But also, what is it that you guys look for before you even sign a fighter, Frank? I mean, because that's why I mentioned earlier, you guys are kind of close-knit. But I've always wondered, what was the process of you guys going around, and what do you guys max out? What's the number of fighters you guys decide to keep in-house with you guys?
For us, we definitely want to keep less than 10 fighters. Anything over that, be honest, it's super stressful. And then we're not, I think that for us, we don't feel like we'll do our fighters any justice. So, we try to, keep it definitely under 10. But I'm sorry, what was the second half of the part of the question?
How do you go about signing them? Like, I mean, what is the one things you have to see in order to go like, okay, like with you and your pops, you guys discuss and go, hey, we're going to sign this guy.
Absolutely. So obviously you want to know what type of amateur background that they have, whether they fought international, national, these are all things that we look at. But if you actually know our track history, we have a good eye for talent, and I take pride in that because all our fighters, they have heart and balls. At the end of the day,
right.
No trainer can teach that. So that's, we actually look for that. I want to see a fighter that's willing to do that. As far as the technique and stuff like that, that could be learned through over time. But if they don't have heart, they don't have balls, I mean, we can't teach it. You got to have that's something you got to have. But obviously, definitely a strong amateur background is something that you want to look for. And, you want to have somebody that has also like a crowd pleasing style, because I want to invest in a fighter that I would pay to go see. I don't want to invest in a fighter that's going to be, boring, and so I want to have, I'm a fan too. So I want to see a fighter make it fun for the fans. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely part of, the decision-making, whether, what to sign a fighter or not.
Earlier today, me and Amilcar were talking about prospects. Like, when do you decide to send them out there to find out if they're the goods. I remember talking to Joe Goosen, and Joe one time told me, look, there's got to come a point where you have to find out if they can swim or they're going to sink. Could you tell us when do you and your dad discuss something and you say, okay, we need to step this up. We need to go talk to the promoter and either give him a tougher fight, or is that the promoter's job to come to you guys in the matchmaker to say, hey, this is where we think your fighter needs to go, the route that he needs to go next?
Yeah, that's a great question, because, if you put a fighter in too soon, you can end their career. You can truly discourage them mentally. So you honestly have to. And the correct answer is it's actually different for each fighter. There's really no, I can't say after 10 fights. Each fighter is different in their own way. Some progress faster, some progress a little bit slower than the others. So it's something that you kind of have to have a good sense of who they are, what type of fighter they are, and if they're mentally and physically ready for a step up. Now, we do work with a matchmaker as far as something like that. But be honest with you, there's times that a fighter's not with a promoter. So that's something that's, only on us.
Right.
So it is a risky chance, but 100% Joe Goosen's 100% right. You have to eventually find out, sink or swim, because you got to know what you have at the end of the day. And some fighters have it and some fighters don't. And that's just the truth.
Nature of the game there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my next question is actually, believe it or not, kind of inspired by Suge Knight, who at the Source Awards many years ago was all making a comparison between him and Puff Daddy. And it's you want someone who's in front of the cameras, all in the video, or you want somebody like me. So my question is from a boxing manager's perspective, at least from your perspective, is it better to kind of be a behind the scenes guy, kind of working deals and managing things out and away from the limelight, or which is kind of what I see you doing, or is there any advantage to being like a Sam Jones who manages a Joe Joyce, or Ahmet Omer who manages a Yildirim, who's more in front of the cameras and talking up his fighter? Where do you kind of stand on that?
Well, I mean, I guess it's a personal preference, to be quite honest. At the end of the day, the limelight, we work for the fighters, so they should be getting the attention forefront. They're the ones going out there in the ring. At the end of the day, I walk them up to the ring, but I walk right back down. They're when the bell rings, it's just them. So they obviously deserve that attention, just in my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, as a manager, you're only as good as your fighters. Fighters, other fighters, they see, we kind of say, let our work speak for itself, So, for example, Oscar Valdez, we've had him from, when he turned pro debut, and we can see where he's at now. We kind of say, look at what we've done. Look at how we take pride in building a world champion. Anybody can buy a world champion after a certain age, something like that. But to build a world champion, there's definitely, for us, we take pride in that, because that's a lot more difficult. It's a lot more patience, and it's a lot more riskier, because at the end of the day, you sign these guys, tomorrow they can get hit by a bus, and
right.
You don't know, what I'm saying? So I mean, but it's awesome to see a fighter who you see from ground up. You talk to them, their dreams and their goals, and to actually see them live it and experience it is probably the best feeling they have, because it's you're so happy for them, because they've earned it, they deserve it. You've seen their struggles in the gym. I've seen how they were frustrated. I've seen how impatient they were. I've seen when they were frustrated. I've seen when they wanted to say, screw boxing or this and that. I've seen it all. I've seen injuries, the jaw broken. I've seen everything that you could think of. And for them to come to this moment, it's the most gratifying experience, because these fighters go through so much, and you got to respect what they do. And honestly, it's an honor to go to war with them.
Absolutely, man. Shakur Stevenson was there at the fights, and he was definitely talking more about Miguel Berchelt than Oscar. Did you guys come across each other, or did Shakur, make his way to your guys' locker room to congrat Oscar anyway?
No. We were in a bubble too, so we didn't really see him. Obviously, we were caught up in the moment, so we weren't really too worried about other people or stuff like that. But I did see some comments. I saw, he did, say congratulations to Oscar. He respected it. Yeah, I think he mentioned something along the lines that he made him eat his words. And
Right.
obviously, I see that he wants to call him out and stuff like that. Yeah, I did see that, but we had no contact with him.
Which was a great question, Amilcar, about the whole promoter.
Ask.
Yeah, the
sorry,
whole
go
promoter thing, because Leonard Ellerby is a completely different type of manager. He likes to be in front of the camera, or he likes being very vocal with his opinions. Okay, now Tank Davis is a name that was immediately brought up after your fighter getting that KO of the year. Fans are saying they want to see this fight happen. Then Ellerby tweets out to fans saying, Oscar's too little. You guys complain about Santa Cruz, blah, 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 blah. What's your thoughts about when a manager intervenes like that? Rather, when I'm thinking of a manager should welcome anything, because their job is to make fights for their fighter with the most money. Do you think that's like putting your foot in your mouth as a manager, or kicking yourself in the ass by accident when you intervene like that and possibly kill a possible showdown between your fighter and his?
I mean, that's a good question. And honestly, I think to me, it came across, maybe he didn't want to come across, but it came across like he was intimidated by, there's a new, someone at the top of the level that was kind of, next to Tank. So it sounded like he was more intimidated. I totally understand that as a manager, you're supposed to defend your fighter and speak on it. But, I think that they didn't come across, my opinion, they kind of came across intimidated. But at the end of the day, listen, as you said, Oscar Valdez needs a dance partner. Tank Davis needs a dance partner. At the end of the day, these fans want to see these type of big fights. Our history, as you know, with Israel Vasquez, Marquez, Abner Mares, and the bantamweight and all that stuff. Like, we don't shy away from big fights, so we are excited, when to be in the talks and give the fans what they want to see.
Absolutely, man. Amilcar?
No, I would actually ask for your thoughts on Shakur, but you're a very professional guy, and I probably wouldn't. I don't want to get you to say something just because I think it. But I honestly don't think that Shakur's done anything to deserve a fight with Valdez. I mean, he did pretty much nothing at 126.
You do. So you do agree with that, there, Frank? Is that Shakur hasn't done anything to get in there with Oscar?
Well, he really hasn't. That's just a fact. I mean, I think that Shakur Stevenson is honestly a great fighter. We went up against him with Joet Gonzalez, so I have a lot of respect for him. I mean, he's obviously has a bright future, but to say that he's deserving of a shot or anything like that, I would totally disagree. I know that Oscar Valdez was at featherweight for 7 years, and I think Stevenson was only there for, I don't know, maybe 1 year, maybe 1 year. I don't know. I really don't know, but he wasn't there for a very long time. And, I think that even though I feel that a fight between him and Oscar Valdez will happen, I do feel that's going to happen because that's a fight that we are very interested in. At the end of the day, he's not in a position to demand certain fights. He's kind of in the opponent's side right now, and he's got to work his way up. But we look forward to fighting Stevenson in the near future.
So let me ask you what I'm gonna give you some names and tell me which ones are the more approachable and more realistic in the making happen on the table of the negotiation table. Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, Jamal Herring, and Andrew Cancino.
I think they're all realistically. I feel that Stevenson, Jamal Herring, and Cancino is a realistic fight. I don't know. We would totally be interested in Tank Davis. I just feel sometimes that they just have their promotion has a totally different agenda. I know that Tank Davis, just from his short history, he's called out Lomachenko, Ryan Garcia. at the end of the day, that none of these fights have actually happened.
Right.
And I don't want to, waste my time either and talk about something that, get the fans up to excited about something that possibly may not happen.
Right.
Now, if they're interested, they know they've been around the business. They obviously make an offer. Talk to Top Rank, and let's go from there.
I only have one last question. Amilcar, do you have a last question or anything for Frank, or?
Oh, I just want to thank you for coming on, and want to wish you all the continued success. I think you've laid out a blueprint for how to be a tremendous manager, running a boutique operation, not taking on too much, doing like your talent identification. And I just think you've done a really good job with Espinoza Boxing. I just want to continue to wish you all the continued success, Frank.
Hey, thank you. I really, guys, appreciate that. Honestly, it means a lot. And like I said, anytime you guys want me on the show, if I can get you any of my other fighters on the show, just let me know. I'm not hard to find.
Absolutely, man. Before I let you go, I do have just this one last question here, Frank. And, the pandemic has affected everybody, I'm wondering, what did you guys do different during this pandemic issue, whereas other camps and teams and management have gone wrong about it, meaning like Jojo Diaz not making weight, to Adrian Broner not making weight, saying that there was issues in the hotel, they can't do a whole lot. How is it that your guy was able to be on point? What was it that you guys did that's different from everybody else? And they should follow the lead of what you guys did.
Well, I mean, honestly, I can't speak on behalf of Joseph Diaz or any other fighter. Obviously, we have a tight-knit family, so we, as far as with Eddie Renault, so I think you got to have a strong circle, and that starts with that. And honestly, Oscar Valdez is probably one of the most disciplined fighters I think you'll ever meet. The kid is like, check this out. He, for example, he can tell, he writes everything down. So, for example, if he's 6 weeks into camp, he knew where his weight's at from the last, from a year ago or 2 years ago. He knows if he's on target or not on target. So he writes documents, everything, as far as where his weight's at, what type of work he's putting in, where he should be at in training camp. I mean, he honestly makes our job easier. I mean, there's fighters that I'm not going to lie, we have to kind of babysit them or overlook them. Oscar Valdez is the complete opposite of that. If anything, he's one of the most disciplined fighters out there. And honestly, like, I'm impressed. Like, I mean, he can show you documents like, this is where I'm at. And he's done it from like probably, I don't know, maybe his 10th pro fight.
Mm-hmm.
So he's been on it, doing this for many years. And, but also too, you gotta commend Eddie Reynoso. We also have a chef for Oscar Valdez that helps him make sure that his eating and all that. So, but you just gotta have a disciplined fighter, a strong training camp, and obviously a good team behind you. And honestly, you gotta be motivated. I mean, if you're in this sport, everyone wants to be in that position where you're at, and especially in this pandemic. What we've learned is where you may not get an opportunity to fight as much as some other guys. So when you get the call to make a fight, you got to take advantage of it. You got to shine, because you don't know when you're going to get back in the ring. We don't know when this thing's going to end.
Right.
So, yeah.
There you go, man. It's always a pleasure having you on, bro. I mean, it's been a while since I've had you on Leaving the Ring, and I'm happy that we're able to get you on. And the one thing about you and your dad and the whole team itself, you guys are very accessible. You guys are really engaging with the fans, and I think that's why wholeheartedly, like, boxing fans truly love the Espinoza Boxing Club. Hey, you guys keep doing what you're doing. The formula that you guys have always created with your fighters have always been 100% solid, man. Again, I appreciate you coming on the show.
Hey, thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Anytime, let me know.
All right, brother. Thanks. Take care.
I'm gonna go drink a beer now.
Right on, brother. Have two for me.
I'll have three. Why not?
Right, there you go, man.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Guys. Frank Espinoza Boxing here on Leaving in the Ring, discussing their win for Oscar Valdez over Miguel Barchan. If you missed the whole interview, don't worry about it. It'll come right back up. I think he answered a lot of stuff, man. He threw out a lot of jewels, too, there for us to, hang on and talk about here. Milcar, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's doing it right. boutique operation. Don't take on too much. Do your talent identification. Don't be all like Puff Daddy in front of the cameras, with the shiny suits on you, all up in the videos, all up in the records,
Right.
All ad-libbing every 2 seconds, let your fighters shine and do all you can from behind the scenes to support them.
Absolutely. I mean, look, if you look at their track record, I mean, the fighters that they've had signed, they've done tremendous work. I mean, you want to think about Abner Maris in the beginning when he was in the bantamweight tournament. That's Espinoza. They groomed Abner Maris from the beginning. They got him signed to Golden Boy. Look at Israel Velazquez was a guy that was written off. Nobody wanted to deal with Israel Velazquez. They got him back on track. And he was in a trilogy, great Mexican trilogy with Rafael Marquez. I mean, these guys got a track record that is not, you cannot deny at all,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the other thing is what I liked what he said about, Ellerby. It seems with that tweet that they're kind of intimidated. I'm pretty sure Ellerby would tweet out, that's bullshit. That's not even close to truth. But when you start, and I see what he was saying because the criticism was that Tank got Leo Santa Cruz, who was coming up in weight, and that Oscar Valdez he came up to weight as well to in at 130, but he beat the man to be the man. I think that's the only difference where Santa Cruz didn't even do that. He just got right into bed with Tank Davis. There was no test run whether or not he would be a force to be reckoned with at the 130 division, right?
Absolutely right. And it was refreshing to hear that he was just open and honest about where Shakur Stevenson is at this stage.
I was surprised he said that. That threw me back a little bit there, man.
Yeah, he's a mild-mannered guy, but the truth comes out of everybody, man. So
I know you liked hearing that. As soon as he said, "Oh, you're right," that was music to your ears, right there, brother.
It was, Dave. So want to thank everybody because I'm gonna have to dip out.
Yeah, same here.
Nice long run here, and I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And I'm going to try to get you on again tomorrow if you're free, Dave. Maybe I could phone you in when we do the Leaving in the Ring live at 5.
Yeah, I'll do my best. Just that yesterday I was in a spot where there wasn't a lot of noise, and I was, I could, but it's a hit and miss for me on certain days, and you know that. Everybody knows that about me on Leaving Ring. Yeah.
My topic for tomorrow is the pus ebo. So it's the placebo effect for it's a word that rhymes with stussy but starts with a P for those kind of people who really can't take a loss and need to the reasons why losses happen and justify them. And
is this into the play of the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder anniversary?
We might head into that. Yeah, we might head into that, but it's mostly at the fans who are a little bit of a, as I said, they need a little bit of a puss ebo, like it's a placebo, but it's the word puss because apparently they can't take losses, man, and they need to invent all kind of excuses for them. So it's the placebo effect, and I'm going to talk about that tomorrow, and we'll break that down a little bit. And yeah, so Dave, if I could get you on for that, would be great.
Absolutely. I'll do my best effort to get on there, man. Are you going to have let me ask you this. Are you going to have a couch there so that you could put this fan and then you can counsel him? Is this going to be like, a therapist, Dr. Amilcar?
I'm going to give him I'm going to have to give him the real deal, man. The real reasons that their favorite fighters lose because, they've been taking a lot of placebos, man, on these channels, man.
They have actually, and I think,
effect,
that should be great. That should be great.
We'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow. Leaving in the Ring, live at 5. If you haven't already, check out the show that David was on yesterday. We talked a lot about GGG and his record. Up next, D Styles channel. They're going to be interviewing Gabriel Flores Jr. along with Teofimo Sr. So that should be good. And if you
Yes,
catch,
I'm looking forward to that.
The Leaving in the Ring Radio Network on demand, Pandora, and all those other great places. So thanks again, Dave.
Absolutely, bro. Don't forget, guys, I am coming back with my quick takes. I got a good topic that I do want to bring up, and we could discuss here on Leaving the Ring. Probably either tonight or maybe tomorrow. I'm not really sure. Really depends. My shoulder is blasted. It's freaking hurt. My painkillers are actually wearing off right now. Anyways, guys, have a great weekend. I hope to talk to everybody soon. Don't forget, tonight is Hispanics Causing Panic with special guest Gabriel Flores and Teofimo Lopez Sr. Also with Dr. Amilcar, who'll be on there as well, help hosting the show. Maybe he can get him in a trance. One of those guys, you know. Again, guys, have a great weekend. You guys take care.
Take care, Dave.
Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros,